This is recording 824. 824. The name of this podcast episode is Listen Next 824. It's a part of my podcast series, Speaking to the CIA. You can find me at ChristinaStation918.com or you can find me at SpeakingToTheCIA.com. Okay, so I'm going to continue on here. So I want to start out talking about my childhood in the 70s when I grew up, which this is all very, very, very significant. Somebody was pointing out to me, they're like, hey, remember when you were telling us about the Barbie dream house, and then you decoded Barbie, and then you sold the Barbie dream house for a pair of Vans. You wanted a pair of Vans. So they're listening to my whole podcast and they're like, look what else we figured out. I'm like, oh my God. So anyway, I'm going to keep the precious part of this. The sad part of this is Jean did this to me all, but she thought she was going to steal my life and my identity and my life story and rip me from my family and act like she's the savior of the United States of America. And that's not going to happen for Jean. Jean is a white supremacist. Jean is the leader of Charles Manson. Jean is a terrorist. And Jean is a child pimp and a child abuser. Jean Jernigan Roberts. So let me go here. Anyway, so when I was little, I wanted really, 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 really bad for Christmas a Barbie dream house. They had just come out on the market. And it's so precious today because my grandchildren love Barbies. And they've got everything Barbie imaginable. And I'm like, oh my God. It's just absolutely precious in it, and just makes me so mad because I have to spend my time like turning in Jean Roberts because I keep being stalked by her and her Manson occult, and I can't I can't have my life. We belong in a witness protection program, and Jean needs to be arrested. So anyway, I wanted a Barbie dream house really, really bad, and the commercials would come on TV, and I would be like, Mom, I want a Barbie dream house. And my mom would be like, you're not getting a Barbie dream house. Don't even wish for it. It's not happening for you. And I'd be like, the commercial come on TV again. I'd be like, about that Barbie dream house. That's literally how I was. I was like, I need this Barbie dream house. I need this for Christmas. And so I told everybody, I loved Barbies, and I was like, I want a Barbie dream house for Christmas. I want a Barbie dream house. And so anyway, Christmas comes around and I'm thinking, I'm not going to get a Barbie dream house. And Christmas morning happens, and there in the living room is a Barbie dream house. And my mom had all my Barbies all posed in it. She had all the furniture assembled. She had the Barbies posed in it. And I was like, I can still remember walking out of my room and walking into the living room and seeing the Barbie dream house. I was like, oh my God. Okay, so anyway, precious. So anyway, so then this is what Jean Roberts did here, okay? And I'm going to skip past all the ciphers that she did around Barbies and her referring to me as a Barbie. And you know what she's referring to me as. But that's what I've been to her all of my life. Since the day I was born, she thinks I'm her play toy. So anyway, she pre-plans my life. She's stalking my family, as you guys know. She stalks my mom's side. She stalks my dad's side. At the same time, in California, she's stalking Mario's family. At the same time, in Texas, she's stalking Ben's family. She's stalking us all and controlling us all for convergence later. And she's just having the time of her life, just like she does today. Everybody's just the world is just her Victorian dollhouse, and everybody's just her little dollies. And this person's a that, and this person's a this, and this and that, and this and that, and da 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 da. The terrorist needs to be arrested. Anyway, so this is what she did. So I moved to Chicago in the 80s. Now, we lived on Emerald, okay? So I'm supposed to be not only Alice, which I already know this, I'm supposed to be Judy Garland, okay? So, and Jean's making a mockery of it because she's planning to steal everything from me. She commits all these crimes, and then she attacks me, and then she plans to steal from me in the future and go give a sob story to all the people and all the victims that she's hurt and killed along the way, and portray herself as the victim, and then steals my decode and sells it all and tries to cover her ass and expects to be forgiven by all the people that she's killed and hurt along the way over the past 60 years. This is the low life that she is. So anyway, so Judy Garland, what does she do with her shoes? She's like, she wants to go home. Like, there's no place like home. There's no place like home. So this goes to the Barbie dream house. So this is what see what else she did to Christina. Please not talk through me, because you'll try to steal my identity and my life. Stop. Anyway, so she ices me, she ices my parents, and we get into a big old fight, okay? And then my mom calls my dad out of the blue, and it was like, you've got to take Christina. This is not working. And so my dad was like, okay. And then I went to go live in North Chicago. My dad was stationed at Great Lakes. And I went to go live in North Chicago, and that's when I went to North Chicago Community High School, where I was in ninth grade. So anyway, so she pre-planned all that too. Okay, all of this is pre-planned. Okay, so this is just more connecting pieces. So what she's saying about North Chicago High School, because she knows me. She stalked me all of my life. She knows everything about me. She knows she's got two things going on with me. Okay? She's going to bank on one, but she knows the other's going to happen. Okay? Because where I grew up in Arizona was not urban Chicago. Okay? So where and how I grew up was Madonna and Cyndi Lauper. It was Valley Girl City, okay? And so the white girls actually did the white girl dance. That's how everybody danced. It was like before hip hop became like really, really big. That's just the way that it was, okay? So she planned for me to move there and freak the hell out. I freaked the hell out. Like, oh my God, because it's a whole different world, right? So freak the hell out. And then she takes that, and then she causes problems and spreads all kinds of lies and tries to ruin my life as she pre-plans in the future. Okay? Because that's one of them. And she did try to do that, but that didn't work, because Jean's full of crap and everybody knows it. So anyway, and she's a terrorist, and she's Mrs. Robinson. So everybody's well aware of Jean's activities. So anyway, the other thing was that she's going to bank that I'm going to fall in love. Okay? Which is exactly what happened. I was like, oh my God. I was like, oh my God. I was like my world just like stopped. Like, I was just like, oh my God. Like, I just wanted to like consume Chicago. I loved everything about it. And it was so different than Arizona, and it was really crazy. And a lot of people still remember me like that. Like, you love skateboarding, but you love skateboarding. But man, you and hip hop and house music, like, it was fun. Like, it was crazy. Like, I love this skateboarding because I thought it was cool because it was from Arizona. But I thought it was cool. But like, what I was in love with was North Chicago. Like, I remember going to a house party at a warehouse, and all the hip hop was on and house music, and as you remember how it was back in the day. And then in the middle, they played Careless Whisper by George Michael. They stopped all the music and they put in Careless Whisper. And I was like, who put that on? And people were dancing. They're like, this is my jam. This is my cut. And I'm like, I don't want to hear this. I don't want to hear Wham, Wake Me Up Before You Go Go. I don't want to hear all that. I already heard all that before. I want to hear the house and the hip hop and the dance. Like, I was like, it was funny. I was like throwing a fit about Careless Whisper being on. And then it went back to regular music. But anyway, so North Chicago ended up being my dream house. Okay, so she's making a mockery, like my Barbie dream house. And then my grandma Stacia, I love her. She is so precious. I love her so much, and she can't stand Gene. It would kill her to know that Gene has been stalking us all of our lives. But I remember one time I was on the phone with my grandma, and she goes, you know what? She goes, you take care. She's always like, you take care of yourself. I'm sorry, I'm being interrupted by Jean Roberts, who thinks she's a spokesperson for my grandmother. She's going, this on you. Thank you. This on you. Thank you. Thank you. That's what she's doing in my brain right now. My grandmother cannot stand you, Jean Roberts. Neither can my Aunt Terry. You're a freak show. And Christina, we're talking through you. You, Christina Stacia, we're in Neurology Garacta recording. It's funny because we're talking through your voice. Your podcast is epic, saddening, heartbreaking, scary, and at times funny when you're ripping Gene apart. It helps people keep their semblance. Anyway, and I love tearing the shit out of her because she needs to be electrocuted. But anyway, let me get back to this. Okay. So my grandma says to me, she calls me and I'm talking to my grandma on the phone, and my grandma says, you know what you should do? You take care of yourself and you're really healthy. She's like, you're a beautiful girl. You could be a model. You could go to Barbizon modeling school. I never forgot that because I remembered the Barbizon modeling commercials that were on back then. And I was like, oh my God. And that was the first time I ever thought, like, me. And I was like, I'm like, thank you, Grandma. That was like a huge compliment because I was like, me? But anyway, she was like, yes. She's like, you could do that. You could do anything. You're such a beautiful girl. She's so inspiring and so uplifting. But it shows you she was using ice on my grandma, and she thought that was amusing to ice my grandma and me. Gene Roberts is evil. Anyway, so I was blessed in the 70s, and then I was blessed again in the 80s. Okay. And so this is like my thoughts on this today is that for my family, my first focus is my family. I do not want to be stalked. I do not want my children to be stalked. I hate even having to say that in the podcast. I avoid it because you guys have been helping yourselves to acting like you know people that you don't, stalking, lying, hanging out with people posing as us, acting like they're our family. My own family even goes on. Mario's side of the family even goes on and cold caught your asses. So anyway, it's literally horrible. But anyway, so this is what I'm going to do first and foremost. for my family is I'm going to keep turning Jean in until she's arrested. Now, here's the funny part is I'm going to remember how when I was little, I was saying I need a Barbie dream house. Well, here's my second request. I need Jean Roberts in the big house. I need her to go to jail. She needs to be arrested. I'm tired of her running her libel racket. I'm tired of her terrorism. I'm tired of her blaming everybody else. I'm tired of her occult. I'm tired of the Ku Klux Klan side of her. All of her occult and her Ku Klux Klan, all of them. Anyway, and you know that Jean Roberts committed these crimes. I've proven it more than once, over and over and over again. And again, I'm getting ready to talk to you more about that. So, okay, so another thing I wanted to go over. Let me start here. Here's another reason why Jean Roberts needs to go to jail. So do you remember me? Please stop talking through me. Do you remember when, I'm sorry, I'm trying to talk and people are like trying to hijack my voice while I talk. Do you remember when I decoded Malaysia Airlines? And I was living in Slidell. I decoded Malaysia Airlines and I knew that Jean Roberts didn't crash that plane. And then I sat down, I decoded it like watching it live on TV. And then I went and sat down and decoded it out and I was freaking out. And I'm like, that plane is not missing. She crashed that plane. Jean Roberts did. At the time when I decoded it, I didn't know it was Jean Roberts until later on, decoding more. That was Jean Roberts and her Manson occult. That's the people who did it. Okay, so this is more of Malaysia Airlines continued. So there is a special on TV. There's a documentary on Malaysia Airlines right now on Netflix. So I didn't watch it. I'm not going to watch it because I'll just go crazy seeing everything everywhere. I know for a fact Jean Roberts and her Manson occult committed the crime. So here's more relevant information just by decoding the MH370 more. So inside that is HRC. You know, she tried to frame Hillary Rodham Clinton. She loves to blame Hillary Rodham Clinton for everything, just like she loves to blame me for everything. Jean Roberts is white. She's precious. She gets away with everything. That's just the way it is. Only Hillary Rodham Clinton is a famous senator, and she was our... I love her, too. She was our... oh, my God, I can't... She was our Secretary of State. And she even ran for president. I decoded so much stalking that Jean Roberts did of her all of her life. It made me bawl in tears. I couldn't believe it. It broke my heart. It still gets me upset. So, anyway, I'm like, so the HRC, as you know, her stalking Hillary Rodham Clinton goes back in the 70s. It goes back parallel to me as a child in the 70s. Her stalking me and my family. So also in that C all code, high C, M hello is in it. H18 and then HT is in it. Matterhorn, Norway is in it. And then what she's making a reference to here is Voyager 1 and 2. Now, Voyager 1 and 2 are my favorite spaceships. They've always been my favorite spaceships. Ever since I started learning and reading about them. In 2011, 2010, 2011. Where I met Ben. Everybody loved the conspiracies. I love the news stories. And I was completely fascinated with following the Voyager. I read all about them. But anyway, so they've always been my favorite. And I always like go into like fantasy, like Wonderland, like thinking about Voyager 1 and 2, like making it past the heliosphere, past further than anywhere man has ever traveled in a spaceship, like what's out there beyond what we don't know. because they're the furthest out there. They're fascinating to pay attention to. Like, I love them. I love them. So, anyway, so she's using Voyager 1 and 2 and Heliosphere as a theme in crashing the Malaysian Airlines. Okay, so if you go look up Voyager 1 and 2, if you take 2014 minus 1977, you're going to get 37. You know, that's Jean's number. Then if you take minus 1976, that's 38. You know, that's Jean's number. Those bitches that blow on guns constantly. That's one of Jean's aliases, is 38 Special. She used that alias when she killed John F. Kennedy Jr. I decoded it. I mean, those bitches that keep stalking me, they're in for hell. So anyway, 1971. So if you take 2014 minus 1971, it's 43. Now here's what's significant here again is the 43 is up. Wait, the 37, 2014 minus 77 is 37. Nope, that's in the flight number, MH370. Okay, and then, so minus 1971, so then it's 437. Now, my phone number when I lived in Globe, so Heliosphere, Globe, Earth, my phone number when I lived in Globe, I have never forgotten. It was 437-5211. I decoded as many phone numbers as I could remember in my life because our phone numbers were fixed. And I decoded out all Gene Roberts' plans of planning to do the World Trade Center attack all over them. So anyway, this is another phone number that she used. So anyway, her phone number was 437-5211. So there is the prefix to Globe in there, and then you have the 5211. And then she's using the 11 as Voyager 1 and 2. So what she's doing with this crashing the Malaysia Airlines is she's blaming it on the Illuminati. And also notice if the 11 is gone, what's left? 52. And she uses that number, calling herself the deck. She calling herself Navy, like she's all that. Okay, so what she's doing is she's saying she's going to sacrifice me and steal my identity and she'll be left and she's all that, is what she's saying. So Jean crashes plane with her Manson occult, tried to frame it to make it look like it was the Illuminati. She's bragging about committing terrorism. She's bragging about doing 9/11. She's bragging about crashing this plane. She's bragging about stealing my identity and my life and acting like she's so badass. She's just going to blow on her gun and get the hell away with it. So that is the end of this recording, and then I have another one to make.